How does the music go again?
Welcome to the place where you can be yourself. I am a side duck and I say quack quack. Show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend, show of the weekend. You know Side Duck's catchphrase? Quack, 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 quack. Pokémon Concierge, wow. I think Pokémon Concierge has made me like Pokémon again.
Yeah.
It's so lovely, isn't it? It's lush.
Oh my goodness, it is the best Pokémon media in decades.
I believe that. Yes, I agree.
Because you told me that, you were like, this could be the best Pokemon thing in a long time.
I think
you should watch it, and then I watched it, and I was like, yeah.
It's very good, and and there aren't really any caveats to how good it is.
No.
And in that way, it is aside from almost every piece of Pokemon media.
Yeah.
Out there.
So for those of you who don't know, Pokémon Concierge, the gist of it is a woman's life falls apart. So she gives up her job, gives up everything, leaves, and goes to work as a concierge at a Pokemon resort. Mm-hmm. It's a series that you can watch on Netflix. There's only 4 episodes, and they're all quite short.
Really short, like 15 minutes?
Like 15 minutes, but it is beautiful stop-motion animation, and I think personally as well, one of the best iterations of the Pokemon themselves.
Yes.
I've never seen a Pikachu that looks quite so cute. And like at the top of that list initially was the Detective Pikachu from the film.
This is a cuter Pikachu.
And
I'm not afraid to say it.
I don't know how they did it. Well, they did it with felt.
I know how they did it.
They did it with adorable felt.
I know how they did it.
Little short face.
As soon as I saw the Pikachus, I was like, I see what's different.
Yeah.
It's the arms.
Yeah.
They've got chunkier forearms.
Oh.
They've got little chunky forearms. No. They've got like baby's forearms. Yeah, they've given them sort of like your chunky baby arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's a squanchable Pikachu. Yeah.
So good.
I think the other part of that is that normally the way that Pokemon officially represented, they all look a bit like they're made of squeaky rubber.
Yeah, we talked about this in the run-up in our Detective Pikachu video. Yeah. I always thought Jigglypuff was like a balloon. Like,
yeah.
And you were
exactly.
like, no, that exact face as well.
I'm not sure I've ever seen Pokemon tackled with stop motion and mixed media in this way, but it super works. The actual Pokemon are so sweet, and the way that they move and are animated is so full of character, and it's just lovely. In particular, the way that they interact a lot with each other. An Apom jumps on Psyduck, and in Alarm, Psyduck uses telekinesis to fire a Magikarp into the air, and while in the air, a Wingull will hit the Magikarp. And it's weird, like it's just not that often that you sort of see Pokemon really interacting with each other.
Is it Graveler, the big rock one with the big arm with 4 arms?
Yeah.
And
there's a Graveler up on a cliff, and
and he's there because he doesn't want to leave the resort because he's having a nice time. And this little rock Pokemon just being like, big rock Pokemon, or like him and like I think it's like Metapod or whatever the name, the big metal one. Like, she was
it's
like,
not
"Are you
Metapod,
fighting?"
I can't remember what it's called.
But no, actually, one of them is just gonna like give it a lift and fly it around the island for fun.
Yeah, they're just playing.
And it's so cute.
It's sweet.
And oh my goodness, it's the best iteration I've ever seen of a ferret chasing a Rattata around. It's like, well, yeah, because ferrets do eat rats, so.
Yeah, that brings me quite nicely on something else that I wanted to praise Pokémon Concierge for, which is that I feel like it has the most consistent and well thought out internal logic of what Pokémon are and how they behave.
Yeah.
In Pokémon Concierge, Pokémon are like toddlers. Like they behave like human toddlers.
Yeah.
In that they need everything explained to them. Mm-hmm. They're quite clingy. They're very emotional.
Yeah.
They tantrum. They just want to play. Mm-hmm. They break stuff, and they're pretty cute. And they're sort of fun and funny to just watch. And I think that applies to every Pokemon in the show. And I think it really benefited from having all of the Pokemon adhering to a sort of consistent internal personality. It's like, in the world of Pokemon Concierge, Pokemon behave like human toddlers.
Yeah.
And that's good and that's funny. But
Yeah.
I can't really think of any other...
Well, it's like how we like personify our pets. So like I saw in
Yes,
response to one of it, there's
that's
a really
good,
cute
good way of putting it, yeah.
Mudkip. Someone said, "Oh, I'm really glad that they realised that Mudkip is basically just a cute water dog."
Yeah,
Because Mudkip behaves really like a little puppy. She chats to Psyduck the same way that I would chat to a cat whenever I meet one. Where I'm like, "Hi,
yeah.
I'm going to talk to you like you're a little person."
Yeah.
Pokemon has that flexibility of it sort of understands what they're saying, and so while it can't communicate properly back, Psyduck can do the things that she actually says, "Hey, why don't you try this?"
Yeah.
And does it. You know.
When you strip away any kind of battling and any sort of RPG progression, any combat whatsoever, and really focus on Pokemon personality, I do think you're kind of left with something that it's kind of like the first time since I was a kid that I sort of really wanted to like live in Pokemon land.
Yeah, I don't want to
like, oh,
make
but
my
look, it's
Pokemon
like-
fight other Pokemon if I have Pokemon. I want to go to Pokemon World and just have a Pokemon, live my normal life,
Yeah.
but with a little friend
Yeah.
that's cute, and I can be like,
Yeah.
you know, that like how so many people have pets, but you know, a bit more back and forth.
Yeah.
The Eevee, I just remembered the Eevee. Oh my god! Sorry.
Well, in the fourth episode, you mentioned like you don't want to do battling, and
Yeah.
something that I think is really interesting is that in the fourth episode, the plot sort of centers around a Pikachu.
Not behaving like a normal Pikachu.
Yeah, not behaving like a typical Pikachu,
Yeah.
and not
So
wanting to
quiet.
battle.
Doesn't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, really quiet. In fact, at the risk of like wading into waters that I am not an expert in whatsoever,
Yeah.
and possibly like I was just imagining this, but I wondered if that Pikachu had been deliberately autism coded by the makers
Could
of the
be.
show. And the thrust of the episode is they want to try and like make Pikachu be louder, to be like a
Come on,
typical
you
Pikachu.
want to
yeah.
be like the other ones, and,
And
it's
the-
just like
yeah.
anyone who lives with any kind of like social anxieties or is just quieter than most people and doesn't,
Yeah.
you know, is just a bit more introverted
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, let's not force people to be exactly like everyone else. Let's just let them find their own comfort in their own pace, their own time.
Yeah, and they, you know, that is kind of how the episode leaves it, which
Yeah.
is quite sweet. I tried like googling it, and a few other people had made this observation, but I couldn't
Yeah.
find any sort of official comment. So
No.
it's possible that I was just reading too much into it
Could
there.
be, but you know, that's the thing with art, is you can read different meanings into it.
It's the thing with good art.
Yeah.
It's just the thing that stuff that like,
It's like,
stuff that's
ooh,
actually
wonder
good.
if this could be this and this could mean this.
Yeah, yeah.
But my reaction to that episode is I absolutely sobbed at the end of it, which is something I can say I've never really done for a Pokemon. A little bit in Detective Pikachu, I will say. I was like, oh, that's so cute. This show, there were so many moments where I was like, oh.
Yeah. And actually,
it's so touching. You know?
yeah, the other thing with that Pikachu, I looked it up and checked, and it is voiced by Ikue Otani, who does the, you know, who is like
She is
the voice of Pikachu. And you haven't heard a cuter Pikachu performance than the Pikachu who is
It's sad and
quiet and
God, Jules.
not very good in
It's one of
social situations.
My favourite Pikachu
Yeah.
that she does is like sad, quiet Pikachu. And it
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
an
yeah.
entire episode of that, and I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
Very, very sweet. It's made by Dwarf Studios, I think they're called. Did you watch Relatable, which was the
Yes,
thing they made
I watched a
beforehand
bit,
with
yeah.
the bears and a bird?
The
Yeah.
duck things, and yeah, it's super cute. Yeah, I just love that style.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore that style.
It's
and
yeah.
their humour is just
Yeah,
exactly
just
what I want.
Just lovely. It's in the same mould as that, obviously visually, but also in terms of its genre. I did a bit of research on this. There is a genre specific to Japanese works.
Ooh.
It's called Ayashike. I think. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But basically, it's like slice of life drama. Characters living. I'm reading from Wikipedia now. Characters living out peaceful lives in calming environments, and is intended to have a healing effect on the audience.
It does have a healing
Yeah, yeah.
effect. And
And
their
it's-
previous shows, you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it and just like it's got that thing as well where like similar to kind of in anime, the food looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's got that thing,
yeah.
like she's very, you know, detoxifying
Yeah.
as a view. It's really nice. I just feel sometimes like Pokemon is like a lot. Like in terms of like the anime and the games, it's all like So it was really nice to just like be like, oh, look at those cute things being cute. This woman going through a very lovely healing process and like waking up and realizing, oh God, I don't have to check my emails.
Yeah.
I just have to go outside and do my job. It's great.
And when you're saturated in Western media, you're watching Pokémon Concierge kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, you're waiting for like
the
twist.
And now when does it turn out that there's a sort of super volcano underneath the resort that they have to stop? But there's nothing like that.
It's just like, here's a little problem that she has to solve for the
remains
day.
gentle, stays at one speed all the way through.
She has a boss that
very good.
You know, anyone would dream of having.
Yeah.
One thing I will definitely say about this show is this is, alongside Detective Pikachu, this is one of the few pieces of Pokemon media that I will sit down with my family and not be embarrassed about.
Yep, and look.
I love anime Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I watched all of them growing up.
Ellen and I both love Pokemon.
Looking at a Digimon fan.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
Wait, what?
But
that should have been weeded out at interview.
Sorry. But I wouldn't.
I wonder if Jane, Mike and Andy knew about this.
It's the sort of thing that I was like, I don't think my family would want to sit and watch this with me. Or
No.
they'd be like, what is this? What is
this?
Yeah. But we watched it, and we watched little Psyduck going along on a scooter going, wah, 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 wah.
I wonder which Pokemon we'll meet today.
And we were like, this is delightful.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is the
this
good
so
stuff.
much. And there were just bits like I was sitting there with my mum and my sister, just enjoying it over the Christmas festive period. And my mum's just like, and like, she's like, oh, look at that one. Oh, what she really liked is it sort of had moments, that Aardman thing, particularly like in their old series Creature Comforts, where something's happening in the foreground. And there's something silly is happening in the background. The animators have done something fun in the background where like two Pokemon are like
some little other thing is
or
playing out slowly in the back.
It's great. It just has those little touches. Also, she draws a Pikachu that's worse than any Pikachu I've ever done.
I was going to say, I saw it and I was like, man, that is a real Xtra grade Pikachu. That is hot garbage.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out as well to the music.
Oh, the music is...
Yeah.
So, in the show, it's really lovely and chill and... I need that on my, like, lo-fi playlist, I suppose. But I think you're about to talk about the excerpt.
Yeah, like the theme, the one we were seeing at the beginning. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, that's good. I'd like to listen to that. And I looked it up and sure enough, my vibe alarms were functioning correctly because it is the work of Maria Takeuchi, who I was not aware of per se before this, but I was not surprised to find that she was an influential figure in the city pop genre in the 80s. And let me tell you, I'm listening to Spotify's This Is City Pop just like non-stop because it's I love city pop music. It's hard to describe, but luckily Wikipedia can do it. Peaked in popularity during the 80s, wide range of styles, funk, disco, R&B, AOR, soft rock and boogie that were associated with the country's nascent economic boom and leisure class. Identified with new technologies such as the Walkman, cars with built-in cassette decks and FM stereos and various electronic musical instruments.
Woo! Do you need a moment? You're right?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's one of those, like, when you hear it, you know it, like, things, and I think that, like, she was a great pick for the music for that, because it is that sort of, like, leisure kind of
You're
vibe.
On holiday.
Chill,
But, like, have fun, and
economic boom. That's another,
Everything is fine.
You know why it's hitting us so hard as well is because a bit like Rila Kuma, it is like laser targeted at millennials because it's about this.
Oh my god, it's for millennials. I saw a really good comment that someone said, for years I've been asking for more mature Pokemon content. This is what I meant. So it's a very,
Yeah, I don't mean like grisly and dark.
No,
where
exactly.
Sort of
like, no, we
dies.
don't need all like the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we just want #relatable stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just something nice and chill to not,
Well, it's about
not worry about things. Think about nice work, things that aren't work and chill holidays. And...
The Pokemon are the second most fantastical thing in Pokemon Concierge. The first one being that she rocks up to this new job and her manager is like, hey, at this job, you can do whatever you want. Full stop. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Should I check my emails? And she's like, she makes a presentation because she's like, oh, it must be a trick or something like that. But it isn't. It's just, and she's like, my life now is I live on an island and play with Pokemon. Yeah. And it's like, oh man.
Imagine.
Guess that, Man, that'd be sweet. She's like, yeah, what if I floated away from the gig economy into the 80s economic boom city pop leisure island of Pokemon Concierge? And it's
man.
don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
Go watch it so that some needle moves at Netflix HQ and they make some more, because I'm hoping it'll be like a Castlevania situation where they've like made a sort of micro series.
Just to test the waters, and then everyone's gone, this is amazing, and then they'll make a 10-part series instead of a 4-part series. It feels, though, very much like an intro.
Yeah,
it's
it does,
her
yeah.
being introduced to the resort. It's basically like an hour-long special, I suppose you could say, if you watch it. I watched them one after the other. I was like,
oh yeah.
Another.
And then season 2, Super Volcano.
Yeah. I think it's a delightful series because it really centres on a very human story and surrounds it with adorable Pokemon. It's basically my dream of just going to be a cat lady, but going to be a Pokemon lady.
Yeah.
Live on an island with a bunch of Pokemon. I think she's got it right.
She's got it, yeah.
She knows what she's doing. She gets dumped by a boyfriend and is like, well, fine, I'm going to go live on an island with Pokemon. I'm like, yeah.
How about this?
I think she won that breakup.
Pokemon Concierge.
Yeah.
All right, Ellen, should we float away from the gig economy and onto the paradise, no work, Concierge Island?
Yeah, should we like have the sofa will float us off?
Yeah. Here it goes. Here come the special effects. It's floating away now. Oh, we're landing on the island now.
It's a Pikachu.
Oh God, it's a Dragonite! Ah, it's splashed in my legs! Oh, of course they eat flesh! I forgot! Ah, it's rending my body! Ah!
Oh, it's amazing.